Hi there, it's Sam from poodles.co.uk. Thank you very much for joining me today. Today I don't have a project for you, but I do have a tip. Now, I am coming straight off the back of filming my last video, which was my 2-inch fold flat cube box that doesn't need any glue, and I have got some leftovers from it. So if you didn't see the video, go back and have a look. But these are the bits that I've got left over, and one of the greatest questions that any crafter will be asked, and it comes up in my craft forum all the time: how do you store your scraps? Now, you will have seen from my 1000th video, I did a craft room tour, and I do have these amazing paper racks, but I do have a way that I store my scraps. Now, I will be honest, I'm not going to keep those because they're too small and they would just cause issue. What I do have is these amazing expanding, well actually they're accordion wallets. And I will show you what I do. So I have one of those for each of our 4 colour collections. So I've got brights, you can see I've used a Sharpie on there, brights, subtles, regals and neutrals, and I have in colours as well. So if I bring in the brights, because Poppy Parade came from the brights, what they are expanding files. So you can see there's tabs there, and I hunted around for a while to get the right size. I wanted A5 size, couldn't find it, which was a bit of a pain because A5 is half a sheet of cardstock, and often I will cut down half a sheet of cardstock to make a card and then have the other half left over. But I found them on Amazon. They were about, I want to say they're about £7 or £8 each, so it was about £40 for all of them. But they are so small that actually all 5 of these sit on a shelf, and I sit 4 of them like this, and then the 5th one sits on top, and they're only that deep. And obviously, as you can see, there's actually 13 slots because these are receipt wallets. So you know, accountants would perhaps use them and keep their receipts in them. So do hunt out your sizing. I'll tell you what sizes mine are. It's my ruler. So mine is, I'm trying to find the widest part. Yeah, that is the widest. So they're a little over 25.5 centimetres by 13. Although they do fully go up like that. You can, the highest part, I think it's one of those like that, but obviously you can have them taller or shorter as you wish. But it's brilliant because I have got a little cubby for every single one of my colours. It sits on my desk. Like I say, I've got shelves to the right. If you saw my craft room tour, it's where the punches are, and I've got a little cubby for each one. Now, I said about cutting down A5 cardstock, and that's A5. So A4 is this. That's a sheet of A4 cardstock, international A4. If you are, you know, overseas, you would work in 8.5 by 11. So A5 to me is half a sheet of cardstock. And if that's too big, I simply fold it in half and make a card. And then it means that I've also ready to grab. I've got cards ready. So I've got a few there. I've got a Bermuda Bay. I've got one there that's a 10-fold card. And it just means that my scraps are there. I can also look at a glance on my paper racks themselves and go, oh, I'm a bit short on that colour. I'm going to put my Poppy Parade in there, ready, so I can use those. Those are good sizes. Anything really less than 2 by 2 inches I tend not to use. And they're all ready to go. And I love it. And this, for me, is easy. I can see everything at a glance. Look, I've got some more cards ready, cut and folded. You could even do that. You could even prep cards and then you've got a card blank in every single colour. But it works so well for me. They're there like that. My clean-up is easy. I'll bring in my neutrals just to show you those. Easy peasy. You see, I miscalculated when I was making some crumb cake cards ages ago. So I've got lots of card blanks there. The in colours do create a rainbow if you put them in rainbow order, as opposed to in colour order. So last year, this year, last year, this year, last year, this year. But you can actually get them into a rainbow and see at a glance. Look, again, I did a tranquil tide. I messed up the numbers. I think actually that was the same set of cards. but easy peasy. So I thought I would share that. So hunt around on Amazon. You're looking for expanding files or concertina files. Sometimes they're called accordion files. If you're in the UK, start looking at A5, and although you won't necessarily get an A5 one, you will find them that are the right sort of size. So if I grab in a full sheet of cardstock again, grab one that's handy, you can fit the width. That's the width of a sheet of cardstock, but obviously you can't fit the length. And I've had A4 ones in the past, which is what I how I used to store my cardstock. So also a really good way to do it is concertina files in A4. But literally I wanted these exclusively for my scraps, and it's working brilliantly. I've been working with this for a couple of months now and working really, really, really well. And like I say, fits on my shelf, no problem. And what's the depth of it? That's a pretty full one. Is that the fullest one? Yeah, the neutrals is the fullest one. And that's still only, well, it's not even 5 centimetres, it's 4.5 centimetres deep at its fullest. Let me show you. It's only 4.5 centimetres at its fullest. So not deep, not big, brilliant. Bravo, I say. That's 50 different scraps. Now, what do I do with my Whisper White and my Vanilla and my Black, which are not part of colour collections? On my desk in front of me, I have a great big windowsill, and I have a letter tray. So this is my basic black. So I have my full sheets of A4, and then above it I have my scrap pieces. So that's above me, right in front of me, because that's a colour I use an awful lot. And then to the left of me, and I see if I can get this tray out, I have, I think it's called a Kvissel from IKEA, and it's a square tall shelf. Why have I got a battery? It's a set of shelves, and it's got 4 shelves, and I use it for all sorts. So I keep my, on the top one I keep my catalogues, then I keep my full packs of Very Vanilla. Here's one full pack, and it's corked so they don't move around, and the Very Vanilla. On the very bottom shelf is actually where I keep my notes when I'm designing projects and my list of how many I need to make. And then on one shelf I have these small pieces of my Whisper White, Very Vanilla, and then the smaller pieces of foil and things like that. My DSP, I do keep the pieces. Oh look, I've got vellum in there. Ooh. Gosh, that's been there a while. That was a Christmas project. So these are my smaller pieces, and apparently a piece of real red. So I've got them and they are literally 2 hands widths away from me in that direction, and an arm's width. That's my elbow. An arm's width away is the black. But it's how it works very, very well for me. Whisper White, Very Vanilla and Basic Black I use all of the time. My other colours depends on my mood. So I'm sharing a tip today. If you have a storage tip, will you let us know? Leave something in the comments down below. Let us know something that you went, oh my goodness, that is brilliant. That's a genius solution. Let us all know. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me. Hope to speak to you soon. Bye.